that we're going to see how to merge it down on time a little bit. Yesterday, I tried to pronounce her name, and she gave me 90 over 100. I've told her today that we know her name because I called the name yesterday. So those that were here yesterday, remember the name I called. It's the same moderator. I cannot kill myself. So that they don't say the MC is good, but he cannot call names. I've been calling all the names in this event. But this particular name is the name I told you yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our moderator for the panel session, the same moderator of yesterday. Please, can you clap? So, she will now, I think you'll be clapping while she's coming because we didn't call her name. Yes. Thank you very much, ma'am. Could you help me say your name slowly?
Okay. Dr. Tubolai Fawar.
Step by step. Dr. Tubolaifa.
Warikoromo.
Ah, my sister. Dr. Tubo. Can we clap for her, please? Come on.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. What an amazing MC we have. A round of applause for him again. Anyways, welcome back again. Now, we're going to be looking at enhancing collaboration and partnerships for geospatial development in West Africa. We know that most of the things that have jumped out in all of the conversations from yesterday to the individual presentations from those that brought success stories from the industry, our lady from government that came from the presidency, from the Surveyor General to the Controller General, to our brother from Sierra Leone and our brother from Ghana, is how can we collaborate better? How can we drive these tools better? So Sambos have put together, experts in our fields to help us, delve on these topics and bring out some insights. And then with your contributions as well, we should be able to chat a course today. Without further ado, I would quickly invite the panelists. First on my list here, I have Dr. Mrs. Catherine Olubukola Obateru. A round of applause for her so she can come up. She's the Chief Education Officer at the FCT Department of Science and Technology and Innovation, where she leads the Climate Change Unit. She has a PhD in Geography with specialization in climatology from the University of Abuja. She has an impressive academic background and has attended renowned institutions like the United Nations Staff College in Germany, the Oxford School of Climate Change, UK. She's also a passionate researcher and educator. Dr. Bateru has published numerous papers on climate-related topics and is actively involved in philanthropic work as the founder of Olajumoke Golden Heart Foundation. She supports orphans, widows, and underserved communities. She's a dedicated professional, a wife, a mother, who continues to make significant contributions to both her field and society. A round of applause for her, madam. Okay. And then we have Dr. Barnabas Ojo Morakinyo. Dr. Barnabas Ojo Morakinyo holds a PhD in surveying and geoinformatics from the University of Plymouth, United Kingdom. He has over 2 decades of experience as a lecturer and a researcher at the at various national and international universities. He specializes in remote sensing, hydrography, digital mapping, and algorithm development. He has published more than 20 research articles and is affiliated with several professional organizations, including the UK Higher Education Academy and the International Society of Photogrammetry and Remote Sensing. You can clap, you can clap. He currently serves as the head of Department of Surveying and Geoinformatics at Bayes University, Abuja, while collaborating with Pizzalytics Limited, UK, and Geodigital Limited, Nigeria. You're welcome, sir. We have Surveyor Dr. Olomoleton Ibitoye. Surveyor Dr. Olomoleton Ibitoye holds a BSc in Geography and Regional Planning from the University of Calabar. and both an MSc in Environmental Control and Management and a PhD in Geography from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. He's an alumnus of the Federal School of Surveying, Oyo, where he earned his postgraduate qualifications in surveying and GIS. Dr. Ibitoye is an associate professor in remote sensing application and urban geomorphology at the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Ondo State. His research addresses environmental challenges such as erosion, terrain analysis, and flooding in urban areas. And he has his works published in both local and international journals. He's a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Surveyors and currently serves as the NIS president. A round of applause. Increase it, increase it. This is presidential clap. All right. We have Dr. Isaac Shola Laka. Dr. Isaac Shola Laka is a senior lecturer at the Department of Geography and Planning, University of Jos, with nearly 2 decades of experience in teaching and research. He holds a PhD in environmental resource planning from the same institution and specializes in areas such as flood risk assessment, land use and land cover change, and climate change. With over 20 research publications and memberships in key organizations like the Association of Nigerian Geographers, Geoinformation Society of Nigeria, Dr. Laka is a highly respected figure in his field, and beyond academia, he's actively engaged in philanthropic and religious initiatives, making significant contributions to his community. You're welcome, sir. And then we have Surveyor Aziz Afiz. Surveyor Aziz Afiz is from Ibadan, Oyo State. He's a deputy director and the head of photogrammetry and remote sensing department at the Office of Surveyor General of the Federation. He attended Rectas, which is now AfriGist, and obtained PGD in GIS production and management. He is also a graduate of the School of Surveying, Oyo, where he got both an HND and a PD in surveying and geoinformatics. And he's also an alumni of the Federal University of Technology, Mina, where he obtained his BSc in surveying and geoinformatics. He's also an alumnus of Osun State College of Tech, SROK, Osun State, where he obtained his national diploma in surveying. Welcome, sir. Okay. I'm glad they gave me a seat today so I can sit down and not stand the entire session. But very quickly, like I said in my introduction, we've been having a lot of conversations around, how can we improve the synergy in geospatial information and technology across Africa, what the future of geospatial mapping is. And one key thing that have come out is the need for collaboration and partnerships. From yesterday till today, the conversations have been around too many siloed implementations and works happening across different sectors, from the government to private sector to the INGOs, development partners, everyone within this space. So how can we synergize and, really move the needle by having more impactful outcomes? So without further ado, I would start with Madam, and then we'll just proceed down to the last panelist. My first question is, how can we promote data sharing and interoperability among different stakeholders within the geospatial community? We have agreed from all of the conversations we've been having that there's a larger ecosystem that, have surveyors, geographers, environmental list, and everyone from the producers to the users, consumers of geospatial information and technology. So how do we, promote and harness interoperability, data sharing? Thank you.
Through public-private partnership, we can also do this through the international organization. We can do this also through transparency. We're talking about data sharing. I give a personal experience. There was a time I needed some data. I was working on climate, was working on rainfall and temperature. I had to go through a whole lot of stress. I had to write tons of letters. If there's a way we can break this, we can remove the bureaucratic process so that we can, get the data that we're using, that we're looking for. If we get this data and we keep hoarding it, it's useless. If it is not analyzed and shared, it's as good as we haven't done anything. We should learn to improve, to remove this bureaucratic process so that we can have access. Some organization would even say, come and pay. And it's not even a token. It's so high that it's not even, most of the students then were complaining they couldn't afford it. So we should make it affordable. We should make this data accessible. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sir. Over to you.
That we need to accept the culture and embrace it. I had my PhD in collaboration with two organizations, Agans Limited and Pisalytic Limited, both in United Kingdom, with my university. And I discovered that because of the synergy between the university and these two companies, the aim was to achieve my PhD, and it was achieved seamlessly. The university didn't pay the supervisors that came from the company, but because the acceptance of the culture of collaboration was on ground, I was told that if I could study 3 case studies, I am done with my PhD. But because of this collaboration, I was able to investigate 11 sites within 2 years. I don't want to be talking of the benefits now. I want to say we have to accept the culture, we have to embrace it, and to be determined that we want to exhibit it.
All right, thank you, sir. If you can just turn off your microphone for me so we reduce the number of echoes. Sir, just to share a bit of context before the rest of the speakers continue. We will delve into how to improve collaboration and stuff, but what I really want us to highlight a little bit is how we can promote interoperable data sharing, because we know everyone is working in silos and everyone is using different standards, and some of the data sets that are coming from organizations are not usable. We had an example from yesterday where you look at the attribute table, it is filled with information that, there's no metadata, you can't really interpret it properly, and it's not usable. So how do we enhance interoperable data sharing among different stakeholders within geospatial community? Thank you.
Thank you. One, sharing data this time around require every one of us here, both in the industry, in the academics, and even the users. Because when the data we are producing lacks standardization, that will be a problem of sharing this data. The earlier for this region, West Africa region, to try as much as possible to come up with a standardization model that we cut across the countries. Now, Nowadays, we are having problem across border, not within the country, with our neighboring country. And once we wanted to have their data, even in security, in other aspects, even in resources, you will discover that we cut across. And when the standardization of data collection in Nigeria is not the same as in Ghana and other neighboring countries, definitely there will be a problem. Then bureaucracy on this also needs to be taken away. If not so, this data will be there. Apart from the personal and that kind of selfishness in our mind, having this data, hold data so that it becomes useless after 10 years. I have so many examples that I can cite here, that when the data came up, they lock it up, and thereafter, 10 years after, they were telling us that it's free, whereas the data is no more useful. So I believe that we need to start thinking along that line so that we can make this data available and share it for the benefit of our country and then the nation at large. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. I strongly believe that to collaborate starts with an agreement, because to collaborate involves two or more people agreeing to achieve a purpose. So if we all agree across the countries of West Africa, then we'll now put in place policies that will assist us to achieve our goals. And it starts with the basic knowledge. The basic knowledge is geography. I was discussing with my friend from Ghana and Sierra Leone. I said the experts we have in the field of GIS might be just maybe 10% of all users of GIS. GIS is so ubiquitous that you have many people from other fields going into it, but they don't have that basic knowledge of geography. For them to now have a standard to follow without basic knowledge of geography, you can see that it's going to be a Herculean task. So from my own opinion, while in Nigeria we say we should have at secondary school 2 primary subjects, English and mathematics, I would have suggested, since GIS is now a tool that everybody uses, from medicine to archaeology to name it, I would want to say that geography should also, at this point, be made an essential course, maybe the 3rd course at that level. From there, we now build up standards, thank you. We now build up standards for the NDI, where we can stipulate what we want to agree on as standards that should be pursued in our capturing and storing geospatial data. Thank you.
Severe Aziz, sir.
Oh, thank you, Doctor. I will try to look at this discussion from the perspective of a government official rather than being an academia. I'm not an academia. I'm a core government practitioner. This issue, we can resolve it by a pending government or United Nations program called National Geospatial Data Infrastructure. Just yesterday, we had the meeting organized by the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning, hosted by the Honorable Minister, on how we can make NGDI a reality in the country. The issue of geospatial data production, standard involved, and storage and sharing revolve around NGDI. Once we get our NGDI running and our geospatial information policy running, I think it addresses all the concerns raised here. One of it is standard. At the United Nations, they have two bodies in charge of standard, like we have standard organization in Nigeria. At the United Nations, I'm privileged to be a member of Committee of Experts at the United Nations Global Geospatial Information Management. I co-represent the country with the Surveyor General. We were there just last month at the United Nations headquarters in New York. This was one of the key things we discussed. And on that standard, they have two bodies, International Standard Organization and OGC, Open Geospatial Consortium. They have designed standards for geospatial data, which has been unanimously adopted by United Nations, Nigeria being a member. So that standard is there for us to present to Nigeria, and we adopt for our work. I want to believe some of us, we've been in industry for more than 20 years. If we remember the time we were using ArcInfo, using coverage, then we moved to ArcView, using Shapefile and HackMap. Now we are using HackPro, which is using, what's the file extension for HackPro now? APRX. So we are migrating. So all our data must be in this same standard for us to be able to share it. This solves the issue of interoperability. So as we are moving in this direction, I want to believe we are moving in the right direction. Like they say, the regional body, I'm glad to inform this gathering that tomorrow at the Office of Surveyor General will be welcoming the ECOWAS committee on this same matter, coming to the Office of Surveyor General, which is the national mapping agency for the country, to see how all the sub-regional committee, that is the ECOWAS member state now, look at how we share geospatial, how we produce, store, and share this geospatial data. We'll be having them tomorrow, God willing. So we are making serious efforts regarding this, making data available. Then I want to respond to what Dr. Olateru said regarding how cumbersome it is to access data. I'm glad to inform us that government data is free for research purpose. It's free. You can write to agencies that are in charge of this data production. We have quite a number of government agencies that are in charge of data production. Once it is for research purpose, government will not ask them to pay a penny for the data. And I'll give example. Not only that, at Office of Surveyor General, I'm very sure of that we give data for research for free. We even give equipment to higher institutions that are offering courses in surveying and geoinformatics for free. Not only the data. If you are a representative of any university in Nigeria or polytechnic, you can bear me witness to this, that we give them all the equipment for them to do, because we need to leverage on their research for us to improve on our professional activities. We don't want people to just learn by the book but not practical experience. So we have that in place. So thank you for having me.
All right, thank you so much. Now, a lot of things have come out from, finding a way to reduce the bureaucracies, to standardization, to, more transparency and willingness to collaborate. Because one thing, you can have beautiful policies, but then all of the actors need to be willing and, participate in these partnerships and to collaborate. And we know a lot of things have been highlighted as the hurdles now. So I want us to just think through and give us some critical success factors, not a list per se, but then in our own different capacities, because we are all from different sectors and spheres of influence within this space. There's government, there's, academia, we have the NIS president representing like a compendium of people within different spaces as well. So, if you can just highlight for us some examples of cases or situations where, you've been part of like a collaborative project you know, the challenges that you faced and the lesson you've drawn from it. So give us the key success factors from those experiences so that maybe other people that are trying to forge collaborations can be able to pick, you know, it can be a straight jacket, you know, 2 bullet point. These are the 2 key success factors that I've learned from my experience, or you can share a story, but very briefly. Thank you so much. I'll start from Madam.
Thank you so much, Doctor. I work with students, and I'm not very happy today that I don't have students here. GIS has become a global phenomenon, and it is good to begin to introduce this to our students, especially at the secondary school level. Now, many of the students will come in. We monitor we have 6 science students, you know, under the Department of Science, Technology, and Innovation. Many of these students would come in and they will say, like, maybe we have 1,000 students, 999 will want to be doctors. You know, because they don't know. There is need for awareness. There's need for sensitization. There's need to tell these students, they don't know, they don't really know. So there's something like GIS, I can, you know, have a career in this. So it's good, please, for us to involve students. Next year, I want this place to be filled with students all over the countries, even from West African countries. Also, I had to call, the Sambos team came to our office, our department, and they made a demonstration to our director. And he was blown away. And he has decided, you know, to take up the GIS, you know, and implement it in the headquarters and in all our schools. Thank you very much.
Collaboration is very good. One cannot achieve what 2 will achieve. I have a company in Lagos owned by my friend, and we are working together. He's a practicing surveyor. I'm an academia. There was a time I was given a project from the scratch to produce the topographical map till the final stage of the construction of the project, of the building. That is Base University Teaching Hospital. We were the one that started it and constructed it. I was given only 1 week to produce the topographic map. They don't want to hear how it's going to be possible or not. All I did was that I carried out the measurements within a day, and I packaged all the data to him in Lagos. So he did the calculations, the plotting, sent the map, and we met up the targets. I want to say, when there is clarity of purpose and trust, collaboration is effective and is a wonderful phenomenon to embark on, and it brings progress and prosperity. My friend was asking, I hope they paid you. How many millions are they going to pay you for this? I said, never bother. And we were paid for the work, and we met up the target.
Thank you so much, sir. Beautifully said. Clarity of purpose and trust. You know, we have a lot of examples. For example, the NGDI as you know, we're hopeful today. You know, because this clarity, you know, we're still working around. Hopefully, this time we establish it, and you know, everybody knows the jurisdiction of their operations, and then we are able to build trust, and then we can move forward. So I wanted to just highlight that this is really critical. Thank you so much. Mr. President.
Thank you. We are talking of success story. I will look at it from true perspective. As a leader of surveyor in Nigeria, over the years, we have been advocating for us to move from analog to digital. And not only that, in most of our programs, MCPD, we introduce, particularly to the elderly that cannot even go back to school, to see that they embrace this technology of GIS we are talking about. And I want to say that today, a lot of our products are being acceptable all over the world. And not only that, even the clients are not interested of getting your product in hard copy. What they are interested is to give them, even so we ask you to upload it, give you the datum upon which you want to reference your work. And this also leads us to work in collaboration with GIS tools. In that case, I want to say that more than 5,000 of yours are on that line, and then preaching the gospel of GIS in our environment. Then as a teacher, a university lecturer, Madam said that it's unfortunate I don't have a student here. Let me say that I have more than 15 graduate students in this hall. Yeah. Yes. As a lecturer in the Department of Remote Sensing and GIS, Federal University of Technology, most of your partners here are product of Federal School of Survey, Federal School of Technology, Akure, Department of Remote Sensing. We tried to build capacity, and these capacity are here and there in different fields. We have some of them at the right hand here, at custom, Sambos, and many of them here that are from that department. The only school, I think in Nigeria, if not in Africa or West Africa, that offering BTech at that level of degree in Nigeria and in West Africa. So we are in the top tier to do this. But I want to say that most of the researches that these students carried out, the government is not supporting us to turn this research to reality that they can implement. I want to use this medium to appreciate Esri for their support for that department. The Oliver Twist asks for more. I'm saying that even with the one you did in the past, you see the product. Just to tell you that we are capable to produce more hands that can popularize or even that can preach the gospel of GIS in your country, in our environment. So we have a success story in FUTA and also a success story in Surveying and Geoinformatics Association of Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, I wouldn't go far as regards the success story. This conference itself is a big regional success story. We've had to share ideas from my brother from Ghana. I was telling him I wish the technical glitch did not happen because I wanted to see his flood simulation and see how he maneuvered it. And that's the success story, sharing ideas. Like he said, I'm also proud to have a lot of my students around here. You see, they are all women. We just started them off, just a little, in knowledge, capacity building, and skill acquisitions for a geospatial synergy. On their own, they have taken it off. And the success story is for you to see somebody you started off with gaining grounds and doing more than you do. I still see myself learning. There are times I call these students, how do you do this? He said, use this function. Oh, I didn't know about that. That's the success story. So I think Esri is doing a good job. And to improve on that, in the academia, we have a lot of challenge. We have the challenge of software, we have the challenge of power, we have the challenge of hardware. So in any way Esri can come in to intervene and help, I think I want to plead that you do that. Thank you.
Yeah, in terms of success story, from government perspective, I want to introduce a program by the federal government of Nigeria, which is called World Boundary Harmonization and Validation Program. What is this program all about? It's all started in 2019 or 2018 thereabout for us to take polio and measles vaccination to the people in the grassroots. It was led by a non-government body called GRI 3, Georeference Infrastructure and Demographic Data for Development. Many of us are aware of GRI 3. They work with eHealth Africa to see how we make vaccination of all these measles, polio, to get to people in the grassroots. Now, we have taken a step further on that program to see administrative structure in Nigeria. What we used to have is state national boundary defining Nigeria and other international neighboring countries, state boundary showing relationship between state A and state B, and local government boundary. We've not in the past have this, what we call this word boundary. Elections based on this same boundary. We have National Space Research Development Agency to provide us for satellite imagery required for us to be able to achieve this. We have the Office of the Surveyor General, who is in charge of producing administrative boundary for the federal government of Nigeria. We have National Boundary Commission, we have NIPOS, we have National Bureau of Statistics, and all these relevant agencies. So we have been working together to get this done for the country. That's an achievement on its own. Now, the federal government, through our leader, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, just enforced the legislation that local government should be autonomous. We didn't know when we started this, but this is going to help the local government to function optimally. There's a program now with the Federal Ministry of Budget and Economic Planning to see how government will take dividend of democracy to the grassroots. And we can only achieve this through the local government and this world boundary. So we have been doing this collaboration with the concerned and relevant both federal agencies and state agencies. In fact, we are still going to have a meeting regarding that today at the Federal Ministry of Economic Budget and Planning. So that is one achievement. However, we have issues. And one of that main issue that is mitigating this is agency not respecting constitutional mandate. Let me use this all as an example. This building we are looking at, a lot of professionals in the build industry will have worked on this. Quantity surveyor, land surveyor, civil engineer, electrical engineer, builder, architect. Then when you say a quantity surveyor that has given us estimate that we are going to use 50 bags of cement, 10 tons of stone, and decided to say no, he wants to install electrical installation for this building, what are we going to have? Disaster, chaos. That is exactly what we are having in the geoinformation society. we know that there's a thin line between this agency, but that line exists, is there for us to recognize and observe. As Office of Surveyor General, let me give a peculiar example. We are now doing what we call national, very large-scale topographical mapping of the country at the scale of 1 in 5,000. Most people are aware of 1 in 250,000, 1 in 100,000, 1 in 50,000, and 1 in 25,000. Not so many people know about 1 in 50,000. 1 to 5,000, please. At 1 in 5,000, you see every building, every structure that exists within Nigeria. But do we have mandate to come out and say, this is number of building in a particular local government or in a particular state? No. Even though we have that information. Because that information is to come from the authoritative source, which is a National Population Commission. If other agencies can respect this mandate, constitutional, legally enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Not, where we duplicate effort or try to push the other, like he rightly said, you cannot collaborate with someone you think, or was it the NIS president, you do not trust, right? So it's key. So I would, we're wrapping up now. There's a lot that have come out. I would have wanted to probe around capacity building and skills development and how to make it sustainable. But from your responses, you have spoken a lot about that. So we need to find a way to, keep building this pipeline, supporting the young people. And I think it was Surveyor General of the Federation that gave an example to say some of the people that were trained, in a meeting where they were talking about people that were trained within OSGOV, they're retiring, right? So, and I'm sure that will be the same example in a lot of places. So I'll just put it as a comment, instead of asking the question again, so that we can continue to build the pipeline. There's a lot of people and organizations here that are doing amazing in that space. We just want to encourage that they do that. And it was very beautiful to hear from you, Prof, that, you're willing to ask questions and learn from the young ones, the students. And that's very encouraging, give them room to shine, give them room to thrive. Sambos is doing amazing with that. If you see a lot of the people that work with Sambos, they're young people. Some of them come in looking very naive, because I've done some work with them while I was leading Geosin, so they've supported me to do Geo Hackathon, even Esri as well, to do Geo Hackathons for young people. There were a couple of them that are here. Some have gone to start working in space in Africa, BTech, a lot of other organizations. Some have even gone abroad and doing amazing, which is good. So, the encouragement is also for the young people here. Pay it forward, right? So when these investments are made in you, because we're trying to build a pipeline, so it's not just about you. So whatever you've learned, whatever have been poured into you, try to pour into others, and don't sit down and wait for everything to be poured into you, right? And I think it was our brother from Ghana that said he had to go and take an online course. So what online course are you taking? For example, this is a great platform for you to learn. I'll say it. I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. It is even free. But how many people do we have here, right? So it's not just the young people. Professor is still learning. I am still learning. There are a lot of things I'm seeing here. Why did I want to see the demo? Is because I'm like, okay, I did a flood demo before, but let me see what else has he done that can benefit me, So I'll just run that off like that. And then this, as a final, one second, sir. As a final submission from everyone, we just want us to, share on how we can really facilitate this collaboration across borders, right? I think it was Prof that was talking about, the incompatibility of integrating data sets from, let's say, Nigeria and Ghana and other places. In here, we have development partners. There are different regional organizations that we represent and we are a part of, And so, as a final note, I just want, if we can highlight how, we can improve this. within our own immediate country context, and then as a regional entity, because we're talking about West Africa here. You know, I'm sure a lot of us didn't know how much work is going on within the Sierra Leonean Maritime Agency or Mining Agency, and now Maritime, right? Or even in Ghana, you know. So how can we foster that? So for this, I'll just go from Sobia piece and then we walk down here. You know, your final submission and any last words.
Oh, thank you, Doctor, for giving me this opportunity. Sincerely, I just want to appreciate Esri, and I want to appreciate Sambos Geospatial Limited. There's a program in Esri, they call it Massive Open Online Courses. These courses are free because we are talking about capacity building now. I remember last year we had a meeting with the Esri Chief Executive, Mr. Jack Dangerman, in San Diego. One of the things we itemized, we pleaded with him to support us with is this issue of training. And they made this training available for not only Nigeria, for everywhere in the globe. And once we have this link, we try to share it on all platforms, Geosim platform, NIS platform, for our young surveyor and even elderly surveyors or everybody in the geoinformation community to follow these courses. They are new, they are very amazing, and they are very expensive. They run into thousands of dollars, but they made it available for us for free. Not only that they are making it available for free, the software and the data you need to practice with, they'll make it open and free. It's massive for everybody. Those software are very expensive, but they make it free for people for the purpose of that training. Not only that, I remember last year GISD, Sambos did something very wonderful again. They organized a draw. I wouldn't know how it was done, and they gave that software license free to winners of those draw. I think about 10. I know we have 4 persons from my office that won part of that license. So, and we have been encouraging them to take opportunity of this. Before I came to this podium, I just discussed with the CEO that one of the things she needs to take away from here, back to Esri, is to look at Africa with our peculiarity. I want to believe the number of licenses we have, all agencies combined in Nigeria, might not be to one just single organization in the US. There are organizations in the US that pay a lot for this. But they can do more to support us. It's going to be like their social corporate responsibility to Africa. That they bring the price of this product down for people to be able to afford it. The higher the number, because Esri is a business company, they want to make profit. The higher the number of people that can buy this product, the better for them. So if they can look at Africa, our peculiarity, and give us a very subsidized rate, I want to believe a lot of individuals will try to key in and buy it. Another thing I need to bring to our notice is this. ArcMap that we are all using, by 2026, Esri will not support it again. So whether we like it or not, everybody must be using ArcGIS Pro. So if you are not learning it from now, by 2026, you can't do this, you can't do that with your ArcMap. It will be a begin again. I'm encouraging everybody to see how you can have access to ArcGIS Pro now, so that in that next 2 years, that is just blink of eye, we will have mastered it. One important thing is that Mr. Jack Dangerman is regarded as a Bill Gates of geoinformation society. Let us start from the wealth of Mr. Jack Dangerman, like Mr. Bill Gates is doing around the globe. Please, Sambos, we are sending this message through you to Mr. Jack Dangerman to support our academic institutions for us to have affordable software to train our students and to train us too. And we in the practice environment that we know we have limited resources to work with, so that we be able to afford most of this package. There are extensions on that ArcGIS Pro that is as expensive as $50,000. I don't know if anybody here has used ArcGIS Reality, the one we use for digital twins. It's $52,000. How many agencies will be able to tell government and say, I want to buy just one extension, not the real software itself? This is just an extension. If one extension is $52,000, how many are you going to buy by the time you convert that to Naira? While we were talking the other time, somebody mentioned issue of smart city. For us to achieve smart city, you need ArcGIS reality. Now, you can't afford to pay for that software. How do you get smart city running in the country, even though we have the skill? So, thank you for having me here.
Okay, so Prof and the rest, final last words. How
Okay.
can we achieve or facilitate collaboration across within our country and then cross border, and the role that everyone has to play, including development partners, private sector, regional organizations? Thank you.
Okay. I would want to advocate for visibility, because you can only collaborate when you know what is there to collaborate about. And if there's no visibility as regards what this person is doing or that person is doing, or even like my predecessor said, in terms of training availability, if we don't know about it, then students out there will not be able to key into the program. So if there's a way we can increase the visibility for us to be able to collaborate, I think we'll go a long way. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is key because even yesterday we were saying that, even if you reduce it for students and then they graduate, they are outside while they're trying to find work or they're in an organization that cannot afford it, how do they continue to practice and sharpen their skills to stay relevant, So this software cost is quite important. And Mr. Karim, we hope that you are hearing us and hearing us very loudly. And our MC is not distracting you because we're talking about money now. This is important. All right. Prof, over to you.
Thank you. Let me look at it from this angle. Yes, partnership is good. Collaboration is good. Let's come back to Nigeria. Are we ready? To make the environment conducive for this GIS to track. I remember my Prof. Dean of School of Art and Mineral Science said, we were given the opportunity to use Esri. We have to transport it to another kilometer before we can access internet. This thing work with internet. Yes, you will have it, but is government, because the environment is very, very germane for all we are saying to work in a situation whereby they find it very difficult to allocate money, funds for this type of thing. For how long will it be taking Nigerians to come up with mapping policy that can this thing? It's very unfortunate that we are talking of mapping made in 1967 up to now, except the piecemeal we are having here and there. So we have to go back home and tell our government that they need to fund this aspect of our society, economy. We are talking of where we have resources here and there. And there's no map. We cannot boast that this is exactly what we have. So we have to go back to basics. Thank you.
On my part, I want to talk about, as a Nigerian, weak institutions, government policies, and are we truly ready as a nation? During my doctoral research, I was given a letter to Eleme Refinery in Port Harcourt, and I met the director there. He saw the letter. He said, you are the one that brought it? I said, yes. He looked at me from head to toe. Maybe he will reply me tomorrow. Also, I went back to Shell in Lagos because my research work has been on mapping of oil and gas facilities, flaring, pollutions, detection, environmental impact, how to mitigate it. I got to Shell. They allowed me in. They collected my letter. They looked at me from head to toe, and they said, we will get back to you. Since 2012.
They are still drafting.
Are we ready for it? And I tell you, among us, most of us Nigerians that were doing our doctoral program in that school at that time, I was the only one that could not change my topic. Why? Because my research work was in collaboration with 2 companies. So all the hurdles I suffered when I came for institute data gathering here, they cover up for me. Why all others, Nigerians, sponsors by government or themselves, they need to change their topic from Nigerian topic to UK topic because they want to use their data. And so the government has spent money on them and they did research for United Kingdom. Are we ready as a country? We have to be determined. 2, we are talking of West Africa. They need to come together under ECOWAS and decide for themselves whether as a region we want to move forward when individual nations has decided that we want to progress. Lastly, we were talking of oil pollution, cleaning, this and that. If you check the internet, my thesis is there. Most of what is needed to be done for cleaning Niger Delta, 90% of what to be done was what I did in my research work. And so, when they are contacting us from outside, nobody bothers to care about what we did here in Nigeria as a country. Are we ready to progress? Yes. Let me stop there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I was laughing because, I had a similar experience with my PhD as well. I was looking at, spatial data inputs to driving environmental management, so environmental impact assessment, oil spills. I'm from the oil producing area, but I had stiff challenges with, from the NOSDRA to the petroleum resources. You can't even see the data. You can find semblances of the data sets from some international organizations or websites, but you can't really use them as authoritative data coming from the country to do research. So you can use it to build models and just play around and understand things that are seemingly, related to what is on ground, or they might even be accurate to what is on ground, but you cannot authoritatively get a PhD out of that because it is not authoritative data. So I meandered, and we ended up with spatial data infrastructure research, and even with that, there was plenty wahala because, the SDI had already went comatose as at the time. So, going to pick PCs, traveled from Abuja to Lagos to Ife, talking to even people that are in America like them, Kate Lance, and going to see them, Prof. Kufoni Agbaji and all of that. It was, you have to, like you explained, I would have also changed. But then I was very passionate. I'm like, no, I want to do something about Nigeria. It was just the passion. Otherwise, like, even small. Yeah, and until today, if you meet someone that is trying to do research in 2024, it's incredibly crazy that the experience has not significantly changed. And we can juxtapose this from Nigeria to Ghana to Sierra Leone to Liberia. It is the same experience. You hear it and it looks like someone is telling your own story, and it is not correct. We need to do something about it. A lot of the people that have suffered, like myself, we're in government now, we're in different spaces, we should try to make sure that, you know, we do better. We do better. We do better. And a lot of the research around readiness, they only have readiness index around spatial data infrastructure. But readiness to really partner, readiness to really, we need to expand these things. So it's good that, you know, we're having these conversations. And Madam, the last words from me.
For putting this together. I'll still say, please don't forget our students. We are coming. We are going. We are needing you. We need to catch them young. And moving forward, we have to prioritize and encourage continuous dialogue. We have to prioritize also relationship building and a commitment to collaborative approaches for sustainable development of geospatial development in Nigeria and in West Africa at large. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Ma. Final, like, you know, there's something that I've re-echoed, and I just wanted us to highlight, and to Sambos, to Esri, to everyone present here. And I think Severe Aziz spoke around that as well. And the suggestion came from Prof. That we need to come together under ECOWAS, you know. So when meetings with ECOWAS are happening, they're supposed to really be leading and driving some of these initiatives. It's not happening as much. So I know we didn't have representation in this meeting. Maybe a suggestion moving forward is, you know, bring them, let them hear us, let's sit together. I know we sit together in other forums, but, you know, we need to do more. And I think that's the message from everyone so far. So thank you all so much for spending the afternoon with us and listening to us. And thank you for sharing. On behalf of Sambos and Esri, we're honored to have you today.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Your name and your comments.
Madam Moderator, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am Sally Ekabo, Director Infrastructure Service from the Office of the Surveyor General of the Federation. To talk about collaboration, you cannot overemphasize that. It's like a human being that has need for eyes in different parts of the body. Now the eyes cannot take the legs. You're stupid, you cannot walk. Neither can the legs tell the eyes, the eyes tell the legs, no, look at you, you cannot even see. Now all these different parts need to work together for a human being to be able to go. Now, probably what these different speakers talked about, I also experienced in the course of gathering data for the NSDI in 1999. I had challenges with shell producing, as it was called then. They call it shell producing. Yeah. So, and some other oil companies and some other establishments. The truth is, other than carrying out some other people's mandates, people want to be local champions. The same way institutions want to, whether they are doing what they should be doing or not, they want to be seen as very good at doing these things. But then, if you want to go very far, you need to go together. It's only if you want to go fast that you can go alone. And if you go alone, you may not achieve much. Now, as a person, I believe in building strong institutions, not strong individuals. In the same vein, as a sub-region in Africa, we will not be talking about, okay, I am from Nigeria, I'm very good at this, I'm very good at that. You need to, like, whatever anybody has to bring to the table, you put them together and do what needs to be done. Now, GIS, which I believe brought you together, does not exist in space. Whatever it is you're talking about does not exist in space. It exists somewhere. And before you carry out any development whatsoever, You need to survey the place first. Now, people have survey on different datum. And then by the time you tell one engineer from somewhere, build a bridge, and they start from different locations, they will not meet. And that's the reason we have what we call transformation parameters. Aside from that, working as a sub-region, you can talk about the African reference frame. So that if everybody is busy doing their own thing, there will be no synergy as you have put in your theme for this particular conference. So what I need for us to do is that we should disabuse our minds about being local champions. Strong institutions are better than strong individuals. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Zachariah Ayuba. I stand as an, let me call myself, unemployed Esri user. I have been using this software since 2009. I have used ArcGIS Pro, I've used ArcGIS, I've used QGIS, I've used a lot of software. I've done, in short, there was a time I was interviewed at the NTA Channel 5 about GIS, and I said a lot of things. But what keeps baffling me is I have what to give to the younger ones, but nobody is willing to take this because they feel there is no prospect in it. Currently, I attach myself to a particular secondary school. I gather some of my students. I say, come, this is a new technology. It is yet to be appreciated in this country. Can you key into this? I will teach you from scratch. You are not to pay me anything. Let me just teach you. Some of them, they are not just, they don't understand. So I wish, sir, I have a message for some of us who are academicians here, please. I want you to take this message to your various departments, especially the one that has to do with environment. Please, we need enough sensitization. And please, I remember during my master's when I wanted to undertake a research on estimation of land surface temperature within Kaduna Metropolis. I have it published in World Science Journal. And I was telling my supervisor, sir, I want to take a research on this. He said, you cannot do it. I said, why, sir? He said, because you don't have the data. I want to tell you, I don't know, but something in me keep pushing me. I actually got the result, and I published it. He was shocked, and every other person was so surprised. Nobody could supervise me in the university. I have to come to NASDA, Nigeria Airspace Research and Development Agency. Credit be to them because they took their time to supervise me. And I wrote my work, and I came out with very good result. I was able to spot out areas that can actually be called the urban heat island within Kaduna Metropolis. But the challenge is, are the lecturers ready to help us? Are you making data available for your students in the department? Let's start from there.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, and thank you to Madam as well. We need to build strong institutions and not just focus on strong people. I think that's one key thing we can take away from there. And then we know that if we want to go far, we need to go together. Thank you all so much. Again, I've thanked you before. I'm thanking you again for your time. And thank you to the panelists. We'll just proceed with our photos and then we'll be out of your way. Thank you.